Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying this. The value you carry within you is not determined by who sees it or who fails to see it. The value of gold is not diminished because someone mistakes it for a rock. It's time for you to recognize that losing you is not your loss. It's theirs. You were not placed on this earth to be undervalued, overlooked, or misunderstood. Every person you encounter has the privilege of knowing you, but not everyone deserves to remain in your life. And when they choose to walk away or fail to treat you with the respect and care you deserve, remember this truth. What they fail to appreciate, they will eventually regret. Your value is not determined by others' recognition of it. This simple truth is often overlooked but carries immense power. Too many times we allow the opinions, actions, or inactions of others to shape how we see ourselves. We tie our worth to the approval of people who may not even understand the depth of who we are. But think about this. Does the sun stop shining because someone closes the curtains? Does the ocean lose its depth because someone refuses to dive in? Of course not. And just like the sun and the ocean, your value exists independently of anyone's acknowledgement of it. From a young age, society teaches us to seek validation. Whether it's through grades in school, social media likes, or workplace promotions. There's a constant pressure to measure ourselves against external metrics. And when those metrics don't align with our expectations, we start questioning our worth. But what if the system is flawed? Not you. What if the people you're waiting to recognize your value simply don't have the capacity to do so? A diamond doesn't cease to be a diamond just because someone mistakes it for glass. Its worth remains intrinsic, unchanging, and undeniable. You must understand that your value is rooted in something far deeper than fleeting opinions or temporary recognition. It's tied to the essence of who you are, your character, your talents, your passions, and the unique contributions you bring to the world. These are things no one can take away from you, no matter how they perceive or treat you. And here's the thing. Not everyone has the eyes to see what's special about you. Some people are so caught up in their own limitations, biases, or distractions that they fail to appreciate the treasure standing right in front of them. But their inability to see doesn't diminish your shine. Think about an artist painting a masterpiece. In the early stages, the canvas may look messy, unorganized, even unimpressive. Onlookers might walk by, glance at it, and dismiss it as unfinished or insignificant. But the artist knows the vision behind it. The artist understands the process and knows the value of the work, even when it's still in progress. You are like that masterpiece. Your value isn't dependent on someone else's ability to recognize it during the early stages. It's inherent and it's unfolding. People who fail to see your worth often project their insecurities onto you. They may underestimate you because they're intimidated by your potential. They may dismiss you because they're too focused on their own needs to notice what you bring to the table. Or perhaps they take you for granted, assuming that your presence in their lives is guaranteed. Their lack of recognition speaks to their limitations, not to yours. The moment you internalize this truth, is the moment you reclaim your power. You stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for purpose. You stop chasing approval from people who don't matter and start aligning yourself with the things that do. When you understand that your value is not determined by others, you become you no longer waste energy proving yourself to people who aren't worth your time. Instead, you focus on growing, evolving, and living out the fullness of who you were meant to be. This shift in perspective is transformative. It frees you from the chains of people pleasing and liberates you to live authentically. You stop worrying about who stays or who leaves, who applauds or who criticizes, because none of that defines you. You start to see yourself as you truly are, someone with unique gifts, someone with a purpose, someone with a destiny. And when you operate from this place of confidence and clarity, the opinions of others lose their grip on you. Imagine if a flower waited for someone to notice its beauty before it blooms. It would never blossom. The flower blooms because that's what it was created to do, whether anyone notices or not. Similarly, you were created to thrive, to grow, and to fulfill your potential, not to wait for someone to validate your worth. Whether others see it or not, your value remains constant. And the sooner you embrace this, the sooner you'll begin to live with the freedom and joy that come from knowing who you truly are. Losing you is their loss, not yours. This statement carries more weight than most people realize. Often, when relationships end, whether they are personal, professional, or otherwise, we tend to focus on what we believe we've lost. We dwell on what could have been, the memories shared, the plans made, and the bonds that seemed unbreakable. But rarely do we stop to consider the other side of the equation. The immense loss that the other person experiences when they no longer have access to you, your presence, your energy, and everything you bring to the table. You see, it's easy to undervalue yourself in moments of separation or rejection. It's natural to feel the sting of being left behind or overlooked, to question your worth and to wonder if you were somehow not enough. But this perspective is entirely backward. The truth is, you are not defined by someone's decision to leave, neglect, or fail to appreciate you. Instead, their choice speaks volumes about them, not you. It reflects their inability to see your value or to handle the greatness you carry. When someone lets you go, it is they who lose access to the unique qualities, contributions, and potential that make you irreplaceable. Think about the kind of person you are, the qualities that make you stand out. Perhaps it's your kindness, your loyalty, or your ability to see the best in others. Maybe it's your drive, your creativity, or your ability to bring calm in the midst of chaos. Whatever it is that defines you, it is something that no one else can replicate. When someone loses you, they lose those qualities. And they lose the impact that you uniquely make in their life. This loss may not be immediately evident to them, but over time, it becomes undeniable. It's also important to understand that some people don't realize what they've lost until it's gone. Familiarity often breeds complacency. And people can become so used to your presence that they begin to take it for granted. They assume you'll always be there, always giving, always supporting, always showing up. But when that presence is no longer available, the void you leave behind becomes impossible to ignore. Suddenly, the things they overlooked or dismissed become glaringly apparent, and they're left grappling with the reality that they let something truly valuable slip through their fingers. This is not about arrogance or ego. It's about acknowledging your worth. It's about understanding that your time, energy, and presence are gifts, not guarantees. You are not obligated to stay in places or with people who fail to honor what you bring. And when you choose to walk away, or when others choose to leave, it's not a reflection of your value diminishing. On the contrary, it's often a sign that your value was too great for them to handle or appreciate. The pain of separation can cloud this truth, but it doesn't erase it. In the moments when you feel the sting of rejection or loss, remind yourself of the facts. Remind yourself of the times you showed up for others, the ways you gave of yourself, and the contributions you made. Those things don't disappear just because someone failed to acknowledge or reciprocate them. They remain a part of who you are. And they are what make you an extraordinary presence in any space you occupy. When you begin to see things through this lens, you stop viewing loss as something to fear. You stop internalizing other people's choices as reflections of your worth. Instead, you recognize that every relationship, every connection is an opportunity for others to experience the fullness of who you are. And when they fail to value that, it is they who miss out on the incredible gift of having you in their lives. The reality is not everyone is capable of appreciating or nurturing greatness. Some people are limited by their own insecurities, fears, or lack of vision. They may fail to see your potential or feel threatened by it. They may not have the emotional capacity to value the depth of what you offer. Whatever the reason, their inability to hold on to you is not your burden to carry. It is a reflection of their limitations, not a measure of your value. Your worth remains constant, whether people recognize it or not. And when someone loses you, they lose the chance to grow, to be inspired, and to experience the unique impact you make. They lose the opportunity to walk alongside someone who is driven, compassionate, and full of purpose. And while it may take time for them to realize what they've lost, the truth is unchanging. Their life is lesser without you in it. You carry unique gifts and purpose within you. Every individual is born with something special, an imprint of potential, a reservoir of abilities, a distinct contribution that only they can make to the world. These gifts are not random or accidental. They are part of your design, woven into your being from the very beginning. The challenge for many people is not whether they possess these gifts, but whether they recognize and fully embrace them. The challenge for many people is not whether they possess these gifts, but whether they recognize and fully embrace them. Too often we compare ourselves to others, measuring our worth and abilities against external benchmarks. We look at someone else's success, their talents, or their achievements, and we question whether what we have is enough. But comparison is the thief of purpose. It blinds you to the uniqueness of what you carry and makes you forget that no one else in this world can fulfill the assignment that has been specifically given to you. In Asher, your gifts may not look like someone else's. And that's the point. You were never meant to be a copy. You are an original. Your gifts are not always obvious at first. Sometimes they are hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, or circumstances that have convinced you to play small. But even if they are buried, they are still there, waiting to be discovered and cultivated. Think of a seed. It contains everything it needs to grow into a tree, but it must be planted, watered, and nurtured before it can reach its full potential. The same is true of your gifts. They require intentionality, effort, and faith to bring them to life. What makes your gifts so extraordinary is not just their uniqueness, but also the way they are tied to your purpose. You were not placed on this earth randomly. You were placed here with intention. Your gifts are designed to align with the specific role you are meant to play in the lives of others, in your community, and in the world. They are tools that enable you to fulfill your calling, to make an impact, and to leave a legacy that no one else can replicate. Many people go through life unaware of the magnitude of what they carry. They underestimate themselves, allowing fear, criticism, or past failures to convince them that their gifts are insignificant. But just because something is unrecognized doesn't make it unimportant. A diamond buried underground doesn't lose its value because no one sees it. Its worth remains the same, waiting to be uncovered. In the same way, your gifts retain their value even when they are unseen or unused. The world needs what you have to offer. There are people, situations, and challenges that can only be addressed through the specific combination of gifts, talents, and experiences that you bring. If you fail to embrace what you carry, those gaps remain unfilled, and the impact you were meant to make goes unrealized. But when you step into your purpose and fully use your gifts, you don't just change your life. You change the lives of those around you. The beauty of your gifts is that they are limitless in their ability to grow and expand. The more you use them, the stronger they become. They are not static, they are dynamic, evolving as you grow and as you face new challenges and opportunities. This is why it's so important to invest in your gifts, to develop them and to use them boldly. Every time you take a step toward using your gifts, you are not only honoring yourself, but also honoring the purpose for which you were created. It's important to remember that your gifts are not just for your own benefit. They are meant to be shared, to serve, and to uplift others. A light is not lit to be hidden under a basket. It is lit to illuminate a space. In the same way, your gifts are meant to shine in the places where they are needed most. This is where your purpose comes into play, using your unique abilities in service to something greater than yourself. There will be times when others don't recognize or appreciate your gifts. They may overlook you, underestimate you, or even discourage you from pursuing what you know you are meant to do. But their opinion doesn't diminish the truth of what you carry. Your gifts were not given to you for the sake of their approval. They were given to fulfill your purpose. Whether others see it or not, your gifts remain valuable, powerful, and essential. When you embrace the fact that you carry unique gifts and purpose within you, you begin to see yourself differently. You stop playing small and start stepping into the fullness of who you are. You stop letting fear and doubt hold you back and start using what you've been given to create the impact you were meant to make. You realize that your life is not random or insignificant, but filled with meaning, potential, and opportunity. People often fail to see beyond the surface of your potential. This is a reality that many of us experience at some point in our lives. The world often operates on quick judgments, shallow observations, and preconceived notions. People form opinions based on what they immediately see or what they think they understand, but rarely do they take the time to look deeper. This can lead to misunderstandings, underestimations, and missed opportunities for those who are not yet fully understood or appreciated. Potential is not always visible at first glance. It often lies dormant, waiting for the right environment, the right moment, or the right circumstances to emerge. Like seeds buried in the ground, your potential may not always show immediate results, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. Just because someone looks at the surface and fails to see the depth of what you're capable of, doesn't mean the depth doesn't exist. Their limited perception doesn't define your reality. It's important to understand that not everyone has the ability or the willingness to look deeper. Some people are so focused on their own lives, their own problems, or their own insecurities that they lack the vision to see beyond what is obvious. Others may be too caught up in societal norms or biases to recognize the uniqueness in you. And some may even deliberately choose not to see your potential because they feel threatened by it. Whatever the reason, their inability to see doesn't diminish the value of what lies beneath the surface. The greatest treasures in life are often hidden. Gold is buried underground. Pearls are found within oysters. And diamonds are formed under intense pressure deep within the earth. These treasures are not immediately visible, but their value is undeniable once they are discovered. In the same way, your potential may not always be obvious to everyone around you, but that doesn't make it any less valuable. It is simply waiting to be uncovered, refined, and brought to the surface. People only see what they expect to see. They may look at your current circumstances, your past mistakes, or your present struggles and make assumptions about your future. They may judge you based on limited information or outdated perceptions, failing to realize that you are constantly growing, evolving, and transforming. The version of you they see today is not the final version. And the limits they place on you do not define the heights you can reach. This is why it's so important to believe in yourself, even when others don't. You cannot rely on external validation to fuel your journey. If you wait for others to see your potential before you act on it, you may wait forever. Your belief in yourself must come from within, from a deep understanding that you are more than what meets the eye. You are a work in progress, a masterpiece in the making, and no one else's inability to see that changes the truth of it. The process of unlocking your potential is not always easy. It requires effort, determination, and a willingness to push through challenges. It may mean facing rejection, enduring criticism, or standing firm in the face of doubt. But these obstacles are not meant to stop you. They are meant to shape you. Just as pressure turns coal into diamonds, the challenges you face are part of the process that brings your potential to light. It's also worth noting that the opinions of others often say more about them than they do about you. When someone fails to see your potential, it may be because they are limited by their own experiences, fears, or insecurities. They may not have the imagination to envision what you are capable of, or they may not want to acknowledge it because it challenges their own. You are not here to fit into their narrow view of the world. Your journey is about growth, not approval. It's about continuously developing your abilities, pursuing your goals, and becoming the best version of yourself. This process is not dependent on whether others recognize your potential. It's about whether you are willing to invest in it, believe in it, and work toward it. Over time, as you grow and achieve, those who fail to see your potential may come to realize what they miss. But by then, you will have already moved forward, focused on fulfilling your purpose, rather than seeking their validation. Your potential is not static. It is dynamic, expansive, and limitless. It is not defined by where you are today, but by where you are capable of going. And while some may fail to see it, that doesn't mean it isn't there. It is up to you to uncover it, to nurture it, and to bring it to life, regardless of who notices or acknowledges it along the way. Rejection is a redirection toward growth and greatness. It is often one of the most painful experiences we face, yet it carries within it the seeds of transformation. When we are rejected, whether by people, opportunities, or circumstances, it can feel like a setback or even a sign that we are not enough. But rejection is rarely the end of the story. It is more often a turning point, a moment that pushes us away from what wasn't meant for us and toward what is. At the core of rejection is the idea that something we wanted or hoped for has been denied. This denial can shake our confidence, make us question our value, or even leave us feeling stuck. But when you take a step back and look at rejection through a different lens, you begin to see it for what it truly is, a redirection. It is life's way of guiding you away from paths that are not aligned with your purpose and toward ones that are. Rejection forces us to pause and reevaluate. It disrupts the comfort of familiarity and compels us to look deeper at our goals, our choices, and our direction. Sometimes the things we think we want are not the things we truly need. We might be chasing opportunities, relationships, or dreams that are not meant for us. And rejection becomes a necessary wake-up call that shifts our focus. It forces us to consider whether we are on the right path or if we need to make adjustments. When rejection occurs, it can feel deeply personal, but it often has little to do with your worth or abilities. The truth is, rejection is more about alignment than adequacy. Just because one door closes doesn't mean another won't open. And often the doors that close are the ones that would have led to frustration, limitations, or unfulfilled potential. What feels like a loss in the moment is frequently a blessing in disguise, protecting you from settling for less than what you deserve. One of the most powerful aspects of rejection is its ability to fuel growth. It challenges us to confront our weaknesses, refine our skills, and build resilience. When you experience rejection, you are given an opportunity to rise above it, to use the pain as motivation to improve and excel. It is in these moments of adversity that true greatness is forged. Many of the world's most successful individuals face significant rejection before they achieve their breakthroughs. Their stories are a testament to the fact that rejection is not a barrier. It is a stepping stone. Rejection also teaches us to trust the process. While it may not make sense in the moment, every rejection is part of a larger plan. The timing of your life is not random, and the obstacles you encounter are often there to prepare you for something greater. When you are rejected from one opportunity, it is often because there is something better waiting for you. Trusting this process requires faith and patience, but it also brings a sense of peace. You begin to understand that rejection is not an end. It is a redirection towards your destiny. Another gift of rejection is clarity. It forces you to distinguish between what is truly meant for you and what is not. Sometimes we pursue things out of fear, pressure, or insecurity rather than from a place of purpose. Rejection has a way of stripping away the unnecessary and focusing our attention on what really matters. It pushes us to align with our values, passions, and strengths, leading us to opportunities that are in harmony with who we are. Rejection also strengthens your ability to persevere. It tests your resolve and forces you to decide how badly you want something. When you are faced with rejection, you have two choices: to give up or to keep going. Those who choose to keep going often find that rejection is not the end of the road, but a detour that leads them to something greater. It builds character, determination, and an unshakable belief in yourself and your abilities. In moments of rejection, it can be difficult to see the bigger picture. The pain can cloud your judgment and make you feel as though you are stuck. But as time passes, you begin to see how rejection fits into the larger narrative of your life. You realize that the things you were denied often pale in comparison to the things you ultimately achieve. Rejection becomes not a mark of failure, but a badge of growth, resilience, and self-discovery. Rejection also deepens your empathy. When you experience it, you gain a greater understanding of what it feels like to be turned away, dismissed, or undervalued. This understanding allows you to approach others with more compassion and kindness. It reminds you that everyone faces their own battles and that rejection is a universal experience that connects us all. Not everyone deserves access to you. Your time, energy, and presence are among the most valuable resources you possess, and they are not meant to be given freely to just anyone. This is a truth that many people struggle to embrace because it can feel uncomfortable or even selfish to set boundaries. But the reality is, protecting your inner world, your peace, your focus, and your growth is not selfish. It is necessary. Not everyone has earned the right to share in your life, and not everyone will handle the privilege of access to you with care. There are people who will take advantage of your kindness, manipulate your trust, or drain your energy without giving anything in return. These individuals are often more focused on what they can get from you rather than what they can give. They may see your value but not honor it. They may appreciate your efforts but take them for granted. They may rely on you without reciprocating or respecting the boundaries you set. When you allow these kinds of relationships to persist, they leave you depleted, frustrated, and distracted from your purpose. The truth is, your presence in someone's life should never be treated as an afterthought or an entitlement. You bring value wherever you go through your support, your insight, your compassion, and your unique gifts. You are not just there in someone's life, you are actively contributing to it. And because of this, the access you grant to others should be treated as a privilege, not a guarantee. It is something that should be earned through mutual respect, reciprocity, and alignment. Setting boundaries around who has access to you is an act of self-respect. It is a recognition that your time and energy are finite resources, and how you use them determines the quality of your life. Every minute spent on a relationship or situation that drains you is a minute you could have spent on something that enriches you. Every ounce of energy wasted on someone who doesn't appreciate it is energy you could have invested in your growth, your dreams, or the people who truly value you. Not everyone will understand or respect the boundaries you set, and that's okay. Some people may push back or try to guilt you into giving more of yourself than you're comfortable with. They may accuse you of being distant, selfish, or cold, but their reaction is not your responsibility. Often, it is a reflection of their inability to respect boundaries, not a sign that you've done something wrong. The people who truly care about you and value you will understand that your boundaries are not barriers. They are guidelines for healthy, respectful relationships. The process of limiting access to yourself can be challenging, especially if you've been accustomed to giving freely or people-pleasing. You may feel conflicted about saying no, walking away, or distancing yourself from certain individuals. But as you practice setting boundaries, you'll begin to notice the difference it makes. You'll feel lighter, more focused, and more in control of your time and energy. You'll also notice that the quality of your relationships improves because the people in your life are those who truly respect and appreciate you. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is not about rejecting people or being unkind. It's about creating a life that aligns with your values, priorities, and purpose. When you choose who has access to you, you are making a statement about what you are willing to tolerate and what you are not. You are saying that your peace matters, that your growth matters, and that your well-being matters. And in doing so, you are giving yourself the space to flourish and become the best version of yourself. You may also find that limiting access to yourself inspires others to grow. When people see that you are not willing to settle for less than respect and reciprocity, they may be motivated to step up and meet you at the level you require. They may begin to reevaluate their own behavior and strive to become better, not just for you, but for themselves. Your boundaries can serve as a reminder that relationships are a two-way street and that everyone involved has a responsibility to contribute positively. It's also worth noting that limiting access to yourself is not a one-time decision. It's an ongoing process that requires discernment and self-awareness. As you grow and evolve, your needs, values, and priorities may change, and so will the boundaries you set. You may need to reevaluate certain relationships, let go of old connections, or create new standards for the people you allow into your life. This is a natural part of personal growth. And it is something to be embraced, not feared. Protecting your energy and limiting access to yourself is an act of love. Not just for yourself, but for those who truly value and deserve your presence. When you create space for the right people and the right opportunities, you are not only enriching your own life, but also creating a stronger foundation for the relationships and endeavors that truly matter.